It is our final show in the month of January. Where did the month go? It is gone. Rearview mirror. Basketball, full plate coming up this weekend. SEC action as Auburn underway tomorrow. Meanwhile, Alabama on Sunday. We will get into all that with Coach Wimp Sanderson at the bottom of the hour, brought to you by Craneworks. Mike Rodak from Bama 247 will be on the program. Also, Blake Lovell will give us a nice look about around the SEC as Southeastern 16's Blake covers the SEC in basketball, does a great job. We will talk to him. I welcome my teammates into the show. Got a lot of text messages last night asking me if Conrad was as bad as he was yesterday on Price is Right. How does he run a household? And I said, well, Paige probably runs the household, not Conrad. So he is still reeling from that. I talked to him earlier this morning after the Damian Mitchell show, and he was telling me that he thought that we had all got together and it was fixed yesterday, that he was unable to get a victory in the Price is Right. If you missed it yesterday, we had like 20 prices of concession prices, and Conrad got none.
He got zero. He got blanked.
Yeah.
Zero.
Well, y'all shouldn't have left a paper trail. I saw the screenshots of the menu that were being passed around to the other members of the show. It's fine. It's fine. I didn't want to see
Molly was memorizing things moments before we started the segment.
it. Yeah, the fix was in from the jump.
Because they were supposed to delete the text.
I want to incorporate that big wheel somehow. Can we get one of those wheels here in the studio?
That would be fun.
That would be fun. You just have random things that it can land on, like a Conrad challenge.
See, I was about to say, I'm honestly surprised you don't have a Conrad challenge wheel yet.
Do you want to take a shot at guessing the price, or do you elect to take the Conrad challenge?
Something tells me there'd be a lot of challenges that were selected in that one.
A lot of challenges.
Yeah.
Did you tell Paige how bad you did?
I did not. No, I
And Paige, and when
conveniently left that out.
when we continue to learn the complexities that are Conrad Van Order, we are reminded that there is someone for everyone, because Paige decided to do life with you.
That's right. I don't know if she regrets that, but maybe some days. But I appreciate her for that. But yeah, I think at 2 a.m. when she saw me, hunched over in the living room watching old Bob Barker highlights on YouTube, she was like, "What are you doing?" I was studying. Gotta get better.
I love a skinny microphone.
It's the off season. I gotta get better. So the next time we do it for whatever, I'll be prepared.
I had people last night. We had a meeting up at the church, and they listened to the segment, and they said, he can't be that bad, right? I went, no, he is.
Now that people are praying for you.
No, and that's when a lot of prayers just started getting lit. We started going through all the things you've done over the course of the show.
Well, I appreciate the prayers.
Yeah.
I can always use them.
Yeah, we all can.
Yes.
So I was listening to the Damian Mitchell show with special guest Conrad Van Order
And this is a
morning.
banner 4 minutes for me here this morning.
And
Damian Mitchell and Friends, that's something that I grew up on.
yeah, well, they changed it a couple months ago because Conrad was pitching a fit because he wanted his name on the show.
Yeah.
So it was with Damian Mitchell show, and then very small letters underneath the logo is with special guest Conrad Van Order.
Yes.
And
They just did that because of your name.
Yes, it
It's
was a
really
very long
drawn out-
name,
drawn
so
out.
it had to be smaller font.
It's the drawn-out name.
Yeah, it couldn't be, Anyway, but Conrad was talking about Hollywood Smothers.
Mm-hmm.
And so, I tweeted out something yesterday afternoon, being a smartass like I typically do at times.
Not you.
I know. It's difficult to fathom that, but I did. And talking about he was a former Alabama student, which he was.
Yes.
And I was just pointing out, and then I did a highlight.
Hey, he went to as many classes as some people I know.
Yeah, and you know what? I don't blame him because based on Conrad telling us how easy it was at the University of Alabama to get his degree, that he probably said, you know what? I heard this talk show host in Birmingham saying how easy it was. I'll just enroll. I mean, I'll never have to go to class.
Right.
I'll get my degree.
I feel confident saying the curriculum at Alabama is probably a little easier than at Texas. Just being honest.
Man, he
Again.
continues.
Again.
I give him avenues to correct the wrong.
Yeah.
There's so many Alabama graduates out there in our audience, and they're just screaming at their radios right now because Conrad is slamming his alma mater.
Do it for the other people that earn degrees from there, Conrad.
No, I had plenty of friends that were engineering majors and things like that, and they had a much more difficult experience. Like they had a tough time in college.
I will tell you that my communications at UAB was not a walk in the park.
No. Mine wasn't either.
So
Even mine wasn't.
So
We had this
So I
thing
guess I
called the
should've-
trilogy, and there was one course in particular, and you had to have it to graduate with a communications degree, but it was a trilogy. It was human theory and theory and human communication. And I knew people that took it 4 times.
Yeah. I'm telling you, the mass comm law class at UAB, that was like,
That was the
wow.
hard one. That one was hard for me too.
That was tough.
That
I
one
had
was
to take
tough.
mass media law, and it's like a mini law class.
No, that's the way mine
yeah,
was.
it was so hard.
Yeah.
See, my thing was just I would say I was pretty good at English and stuff like that. So I was bad at like science.
Yeah,
Like,
I'm bad at science, and I
like
never understood
biology
that.
was
Given
brutal for
given
me.
my course curriculum, why do I have to have a science class?
Yeah,
Yeah.
like
Why are
biology.
you forcing
was,
me to have a science class?
Yeah,
See, that's the way I was
Wasn't
with
great in those.
foreign language. Like they told me when I came into school, part of the core curriculum for me to get a broadcast degree, I had to be fluent in a foreign language.
Yeah, me too.
And I said,
Really?
time out. I said, time out. Like, I am not going to Mexico City to broadcast soccer games. Like, I'm an American football dude. Like, I'm not doing that. And so, fortunately, by the time I got
It would
to
be
my,
nice to have in your toolbox.
fortunately, when I got
Yeah.
to my senior year, because I had become a double major, and they were able to take some things off of one major and another in my curriculum, and then it eliminated my foreign languages. So I was able to graduate without having to take foreign language.
See, I wonder if enough people maybe complained about, because like when I was in college, they told us you could either do foreign language or computer science, and everybody opted for computer science because it was, Excel, how to make a website.
No,
stuff
I
like
had to be
that.
fluent. I had to take 400 level,
Oh yeah.
and I was like,
I did too, and you're conjugating verbs, and you're doing all
Yeah.
kinds of stuff.
I was able to get through 101, no problem.
Well, I got through it all. I passed somehow,
We all know. how
but
you
then
passed.
but then I forgot everything that I learned.
See, I
You
only
did
had to
retain
take
it.
I
2
retained some of it,
semesters.
but not like the
a foreign
conjugation of
language.
verbs.
Just 2?
Yeah.
What'd you take?
Well,
Spanish?
because it was either going in, you had to take 4 of the language you took in high school or 2 of a brand new language.
Mm.
And I took Spanish all 4 years of high school, and I was like, I'm not doing 4 more semesters of that. So I took French. I only had to do 2
Mm.
semesters, and I loved it.
I did take my teacher to eat pizza and drink beer one day.
Oh, there you go. That's where you passed.
She was nice.
Would that be allowed now?
I don't know.
No.
Would that be frowned upon?
We had a teacher like that.
I had a
Go and hang out with.
I had a broadcast professor at UAB who actually was good friends with Linda Cohn.
Mhm.
They had gone to college together. He was from upstate New York, and he was so cool. And like we'd wrap up class, and we'd end up at 5 points,
Yeah.
hanging out with our professor.
One of the professors where I went to school, they would ride a bike. I guess they lived there close to campus.
Mhm.
They would ride a bike, but at lunchtime they would go over to the little Irish bar that was right across the street, and they were open for lunch. And he would drink beer and work crosswords, and then go back and teach class.
I'd be frowned upon now.
Not a bad life.
Always wanted to know what class he taught.
And just think, kids, all of us have broadcast degrees.
Yay.
You too,
Can do the same. Oh my goodness
if
gracious.
you're interested. No.
Well, the reason I brought up what I heard this morning on the show, because I know, Conrad, that folks are still fired up over Hollywood Smothers, what he said in that interview with On 3. And I was bringing up the tweet that I sent out because that tweet's had, I haven't checked it in a little while, but I mean, it's had like 350 to 400,000, views and interactions on X, that's pretty healthy. A lot of people, having a lot of things to say about Hollywood Smothers, and that little bit that he said to On 3 about Alabama, or he wanted to go somewhere that had the dedication to winning.
Was
a
serious about
championship.
winning a national championship. Yeah, I enjoyed my favorite thing that I saw on Twitter yesterday was somebody responding to that tweet that you put out. And because, one of the things that he had said was NIL had nothing to do with his decision, right? NIL was a non-factor in why he chose Texas and left Alabama. And somebody very kindly posted a picture from Hollywood Smothers' Instagram of when he was visiting Alabama. And in the picture, he is showing off his Balenciaga sweatpants,
And
his
the
Louis
watch.
Vuitton luggage, and what I don't know if it's like
What kind of watch was that?
I think it was a Richard Mille.
That was a nice watch.
It was minimum tens of thousands of dollars watch. And I just thought it was comical that someone posted that. And it was, this guy.
So it wasn't about the NIL
Yeah,
money.
this guy doesn't care about NIL, but when he was visiting Alabama, he was showing off all the designer clothes and
all the bling.
accessories that he had. But money didn't factor in.
Nah.
Wasn't a factor. Was not a factor. Which is kind of funny because if the reason he thinks Texas is ready to compete for a title this year is probably because they've spent a lot of money, right? that would tell me that NIL was a factor in his decision.
And if you missed the podcast yesterday, basically, what was the exact quote you said? You wanted Alabama to play Texas.
You want
in
his
the SEC
collarbone
championship
broken.
game, and what now? What
Yeah, I
happened?
wanted them to play in Atlanta, and Alabama obviously whooped that ass. And
That was the line I was looking for.
Oh,
yeah, and then something about a collarbone.
You want to
or
break his
something.
collarbone.
No,
you hope he
I
breaks
don't.
his.
I
You
don't.
hope
Awful.
he breaks his collarbone, is what you said.
And, well, and then somebody said that they.
And I
hope
looked
he-
at
they
you and I
hope
said,
he-
Conrad, come on, don't
I
do
know,
that.
and that was low for me, but I'm.
For you.
It was low for me. I normally
Then
don't see
we
it that way.
then we had a listener that texted into the show that doubled down and said,
Well, he
that-
wanted like his ACL to get torn, which I don't want that. We don't want structural damage. We
Wait a
don't want
second. You
structural
want him
damage.
to like break a collarbone, but you don't want him to blow his ACL?
No, one of those like a career-ending injury. Other one's just like a message.
A message?
send a message.
What are you talking about?
Welcome to the SEC, big boy.
Sweep the leg. No mercy.
My
I
goodness.
don't want any permanent damage done to the kid. I'm sure he's a good kid.
Golly, if Hollywood Smothers breaks his collarbone
In
fall
the first
practice,
game.
You're getting
in
the
fall
full
practice.
blame.
No, I'm going into fortune telling. I'm going into a different career if that happens.
The Conrad Van Order voodoo doll business online is
Conrad
going to,
Van Voodoo.
Yep.
I could have Faye be my front door, my whatever, because I'll have to sit in the back behind the beads, and then Faye can
What kind of beads?
work the front. This isn't Rhode Island. Just normal ones. Just normal ones.
It is a filthy Friday, folks. So people tune in.
You have a collection of beads, really?
I do not.
Oh.
I do not.
Hmm.
Never gone down that route.
Did you guys ever go over to anybody's house when you were little that had the beads that separated the kitchen from
No, I did not.
maybe the rest of the house?
No.
Yes, I know what you're talking about. I had
Did
a
you
friend
have
that had
somebody
that, yeah.
in Hayden?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Really? Mm.
I mean, it's an older house thing.
Yeah. Just the beads. You know what I'm talking about.
I know exactly what you're
Okay.
talking about.
Just making sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Coming up at the bottom of the
Got
hour, we
mud on those
will
beads.
we will talk to Wimp Sanderson, brought to you by Crane Works. Get his feelings on this weekend's basketball. Charles Bediako continues to be a big story. So we'll talk to him. Mike Rodak from Bama 247 will join the program at 11. Coming up at noon, Blake Lovell from Southeastern 16.
Well, flu season is here, so make your home healthier with Trane's Clean Effects Home Air Cleaner. It removes up to 99.9% of airborne particles, including those that cause virus. It's 100 times more effective than standard air filters and 8 times more effective than HEPA room filters. So go and find a dealer near you at Trane.com.
When we come back on three-man front, we're just a couple weeks away from the Olympics, but there's a big story that is happening overseas right now in regards to the United States Olympic team. We'll tell you what's going on. That's next on Three-Man Front. It is 10:17 on this Friday. Welcome back into Three Man Front. I was telling you as we were going to commercial break, as the Olympics, we're just weeks away from the Winter Olympics over in Italy. And Lindsey Vonn, who has done an incredible job of coming back after injury after injury. And how old is Lindsey? Is she 40, 41?
Yeah.
I think that's right. 41 years old. And she had just an incredible season the last couple of years on the World Cup circuit. And today she crashed in Switzerland, and they had to airlift her off of the course. And she just posted a little while ago on her Instagram, and she says, "I crashed today in the downhill race in Switzerland and injured my left knee. I am discussing the situation with my doctors and team and will continue to undergo further exams. This is a very difficult outcome 1 week before the Olympics. But if there's one thing I know how to do, it's a comeback. My Olympic dream is not over. Thank you for all the love and support. I will give more information when I have it."
Watching the video, if you is just trying to paint a picture for you, Lindsey Vonn's outside leg, that would have been her left leg going around that left turn at probably, 125 miles an hour.
Probably.
And then she spun out, and it looked like the leg might have gotten twisted in the process. Because when the medical team came and got her, she got up and then started favoring that left leg. So that stinks for Lindsey Vonn.
Yeah. And she was
That stinks for America.
yeah, it does. Because I do believe that she was listed as one of the hopefuls that potentially was going to bring home a medal.
Because we're not flexing going into the Olympics like we do in the Summer Olympics.
No.
A little bit of a different deal.
Not in the winter when the Nordic countries pretty much dominate the Winter Olympics, but we do well, especially figure skating. I understand that we have really good figure skating team.
Do we?
And the reason I know that is because since I, have a subscription to the St. Louis Post-Dispatch, that's where the figure skating U.S. championships were a couple weeks ago.
Oh.
Yeah.
I'm so excited.
So is that true? Or do we have a
They're really good?
I think they are good.
Are they boyfriend, girlfriend?
That I don't know about. But one of the girls on the figure skating team, she has like striped hair. Have you seen her?
No.
I'll show you her hair. Hold on.
Like,
let's
in
meet
the flag
the team.
striped?
No, like it's.
So I thought she had
Okay,
red
where's
and blue
Waldo?
hair.
Yes.
Are we going to watch the Olympics and invite you?
I don't know. If you leave the water in the pool, we can do some curling.
Depends on how y'all treat me next week.
Have we treated you bad this week? Is this week any different than any other week?
No, that's actually
This
a pretty
United
fair
States
point.
figure skating team is being publicized as maybe the best ever.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Okay, well, I'm glad I was reading
Or
something.
the
that-
greatest ever is what they said.
Wow.
They're expected to dominate.
I'm
Golly.
sold.
Yep.
Maybe we can freeze the pool over. We can come do our own little ice skating competition.
This'll be a blast from the past. How about this, Pat? Maybe you guys, you would recognize some of these names, but these skaters are being called among the strongest ever seen on a U.S. team, a team that already features star alumni like Michelle Kwan, Christy Yamaguchi, and Dorothy Hamill.
Yamaguchi.
I know the first two.
No Nancy Kerrigan or Tanya Harding?
Mm-mm. Kerrigan. Yeah.
Man, it was doing a radio show when that happened.
Golly.
We were like going, thank you. This is great.
Tanya Harding, just a hot mess.
Yep. I'm going to throw out a name, and I'm going to see if you react to it. You might not remember it. Do you remember Lorena Bobbitt?
Oh! Cut it out.
I mean, listen, we had some.
Are you Googling it? You don't know?
We
John Wayne or. Yeah.
we absolutely had just incredible radio.
Those
gold.
jokes went for two.
Okay, I've heard that story. I know who that is.
Yeah, those
I didn't know the
jokes.
name.
Those jokes went for 2-3 years.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, she's the one. She threw it out in the field.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Threw it out the window.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I've heard that one.
Yeah.
So we had the Tanya Harding deal
Yep.
with Nancy Kerrigan. We had obviously the Bill Clinton scandal with Monica Lewinsky, Lorena Bobbitt.
Yep.
Oh, yeah, we had.
Who was the Stacy girl that was the young girlfriend, the redhead that ended up committing the murder. I'm trying to remember.
So yeah, it was the off season was pretty interesting on talk radio.
Now we just got G League kids trying to play college basketball.
I know. I know.
Let's get some real excitement going. Real controversy.
Yeah. You got to be able to understand law now.
Well, I guess those media law classes we struggled with are paying off a little bit.
The Courtesy GMC text line is open 205-834-9450. As I mentioned, we'll talk to Wimp Sanderson at the bottom of the hour. Mike Rodak from Bama 247. Blake Lovell from Southeastern 16 will join the program as we will get into that. In regards to anything else that's going on, I was reading where the College Football Playoff Committee, not the committee, but the managers that will be reviewing things over the coming weeks in regards to 2027, because they've already decided, last Friday they decided that we're going to stay at 12, but I continue to hear the drumbeat, especially around college football, especially in these neck of the woods, that the SEC, a lot of coaches in this league wanted 16, and they're staying at 12 this year because they're worried, because you're going to have a 9-game SEC schedule this year, and there's the real possibility that you're going to look up, and we're going to be sitting there in November, and there's going to be multiple really, really good teams with 3 losses. And then you're going to sit there and go, are we going to get the love with a strength of schedule by those losses being in conference play because you have forced us to play the 9 conference games?
But it was with the understanding, right, that we play the 9 conference games. We're going to have more opportunities to get in.
Correct.
So this is not really what we signed up for or what was presented to us.
It sounded like it was being sold like, look, you agree to 9. This thing's going to 16 in 2026, which is going to mean even more opportunities. Now, the SEC did get 5 teams in this year with 12. So
I did think it was interesting, though, that, with some of that stuff that was coming out being reported last night, that at least it appears that when you include, obviously the Big Ten, the SEC kind of get to call the shots, but you include all the other conferences, the Notre Dames of the world. Based on the reports, it seems like everybody is unified that the SEC's plan is the one that everybody else wants. It's just the Big Ten that's off there by themselves. They want the 24 teams. They want the play-in games. But every other conference is on the SEC side of, we want to go to 16, we want the automatic qualifiers, and we just want to stick with 16. So I thought that was interesting.
Well, to me, it looks like a bait and switch, because the Big Ten in their remember when the SEC and the Big Ten, they were breaking bread together, having their meetings, singing Kumbaya, blah, 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 blah. It looked like, okay, look, SEC, y'all need to go to 9 conference games like we do. Go to that, and then we'll agree to a 16 team. And then in the middle of it, Tony Petitti decided, you know what? We want 24 because Fox is telling me they want more inventory. So we need 24 teams in the playoff. And Greg Sankey and SEC not interested in 24. They would like the 16. But if you're forcing the hand, then we'll stay at 12.
I don't think at the Big Ten, you're not getting any more leeway from the SEC now.
I don't think so either.
No, we bent the knee one time. We did what you wanted, and you screwed us. So, nope.
But if it plays out, I could see where that might not bode well for constituents, coaches, athletic directors for Greg Sankey when it's all said and done. If you get one of these 9-3 SEC teams that's left out, right?
Yep.
Because there's already a little bit of angst there. So if it does happen, you get shut out, then if you're Greg Sankey, what do you are we going back to 8?
I think we're definitely north of 12.
Yeah, I guess that's a good question. Could the SEC vote if they wanted to? Hey, we don't want to do this 9-game thing anymore. If we're staying at 12, let's go back to 8 conference
The member
games?
institutions make up the voting body of the SEC, so they could do that, right?
Listen, the college football playoff, it's up to the SEC and the Big Ten. It's their ball game. So those two just have to agree. Like if they wanted to come back, which they're not going to, but for the case of this argument, if the SEC and the Big Ten said, okay, hey, you know what? 12 is too many. Let's go to 8. They technically could do that.
But like within the SEC itself, could the 16 athletic directors, presidents, whatever, get together and say, we don't want the 9-game schedule anymore. We want to go back to 8 games and vote on that. And 2 years from now, we're back at an 8-game schedule.
Yes, because the member institutions, they
Yeah,
make
they
the-
make it up.
They make the rules.
That's what I don't think that would happen, but
The commissioner works for the 16 schools in the Southeastern Conference.
yeah.
It's not the 16 schools work for Greg Sankey. It's just like the commissioner of the NFL works for the owners of the National Football League.
Yeah. Roger Goodell's not their boss.
Correct.
No, I was just playing it out where somebody feels like they got screwed. You got more injuries during the course of the season. Somebody comes up with all this data. It's all presented. We get to SEC meetings, and then the word coming out of Destin is we want to go back to 8 games.
Well, and I brought this up a couple of days ago. Look at all the Big Ten teams that are not playing Power 4 opponents in their non-region games.
Yeah.
Sorry, high school.
Well, it's a region because
Well, no, I
most
meant
of their non-conference comes from the MAC.
Right, non-conference games. So, yeah, but we'll see. You need to protect your home by call Alabama Professional Services, 205-951-9717. The pros really know their stuff. Give them a call. They can help you out with a sinking driveway or patio. Their fast and clean poly-level system, 205-951-9717, or just simply go to their website, alabamaprofessional.com.
The coach, Wimp Sanderson, I'm sure he's got a lot to say about Charles Bediako, the SEC, and a big matchup for the Tide in Gainesville on Sunday. Wimp is next. .32, three-man front here on this Friday. Landrum, Pat, Conrad, and Molly. Hope everyone is doing well. Always very entertaining interaction on the Jocks text line, 205-834-9450. It's going to be cold this weekend. We got storm season that'll be here before you know it. And here in Alabama, you know the weather is always so unpredictable. That's why you want to make sure your most important investment is protected And I'm talking about your home. Got a great company for you to protect that home, and it's with your roof. That's where it's all starts, right? And it's our friends at Noto Roofing. Owners Sammy and Matt, local guys. I've known these guys forever. They're brothers, and they're going to take care of you. They're going to work along the insurance companies. If you need assistance in that, they can assist in the claims process. Chris, one of their talented professionals, will come out to your house. You're going to talk to everybody with Noto Roofing when you deal with them. Everybody. Sammy's going to answer the phone. Matt's going to come out to the house. He'll talk to you, address any issues. And then Chris is actually going to be boots on the ground, or on your roof in this case, and making sure that everything is functioning properly. Ventilation inspections, all free inspections to Jocks listeners. Financing to help with payments if you need help with that as well. Noto Roofing. Local company you can trust. They offer warranties as well. Noto roofing.com or 205-848-2299. That's Noto Roofing. Always tell them Landrum from Jocks sent you.
We'll be joined momentarily by Wimp Sanderson, the former head basketball coach of the University of Alabama Crimson Tide. It's brought to you each and every week on this program by Craneworks.
Lift it, load it, grade it, grind it, move it, haul it, rig it, dig it, Craneworks, Rentalworks, yeah, the big dog's got it.
Wimp Sanderson on Three Man Front is brought to you by Craneworks. Lift it, buy it, rent it. The big dog's got it. And now, Wimp Sanderson.
And Coach Wimp Sanderson joins us now on the Higginbotham Hotline. Coach, I hope you've had a good week so far.
I've had a good week, and I guess I could get on here and talk about 42 years ago when we played UCLA and Coach Bryant passed away, or 44 years ago when we played Tennessee. And then if I'd started to do that, you two guys would look at each other and say, Wimp's told that before. So
no, we're getting to the
I
age
am.
now, Coach. We forget that you've told us stories.
No, y'all don't. I can tell y'all look at each other and say, "We told that before." Why
No,
did
we
you do that?
don't.
So, but I forget what I tell and what I don't tell. And so anyway, Betty Ocko thing is I get that over with now. I think it's you get criticism and you get praise. You get criticism away from the state of Alabama or Alabama fans, and you get praise with Alabama fans. As long as it doesn't affect your seating, because somebody being mad. The two good things about Alabama is an athletic director at Samford in Alabama are on the committee to be in charge of the seating for the NCAA tournament. So that's certainly somewhat of a plus. Not that they can pull it off, but if there is criticism or disheartening things about what's going on, and there is some, and I'm not going to get into good or bad because I don't really know the good or bad. I will finish up by saying that they will play Florida and Texas A&M with him playing. Texas A&M is very hard to play. Florida will be very hard to play as well. And then the ruling, I think, and you guys correct me now because I listen to a lot of stuff. I think the correction will, or the decision will be made the day before the Auburn game.
That is correct. That is correct. Yes.
Okay. And so 2 games that they play, Florida will be a tough game. Florida rebounds the basketball well. The guards have not been shooting well. The same old thing it's a 1-game series, and you can't turn the ball over. You've got to be even with them on the boards. You got to get some putbacks. The big guys their big guys are good. Their guards hadn't shot it well, and either team's got to defend the 3. We talk about shooting the 3 all the time, but we don't talk about defending the 3 a whole lot. So that will be a big game. And while I'm saying this, I need to mention this. We'll go back to Alabama's game. The ladies play at 11 o'clock on Sunday, and they play at LSU.
Oh,
and Christie's got their team, and their team is at 19-3.
They got a big win last night, didn't they, against Georgia?
Yeah.
Wasn't that against Georgia?
Yeah, I think so. The LSU game will be very hard for them to win. But anyway, I wanted to mention that while I'm talking because I like them, and they've done a good job coaching. They don't quite get the crowds that the men get. No, so wide open for you. Whatever
Okay.
You want,
Well,
whatever you want.
I want to go back to the Bediako thing, not the legal side of it, but
Okay.
just a pure basketball standpoint. In the 2 games that you have seen him play, is it a carbon copy of what we saw 3 years ago? What has he done to improve his game, if any?
Well, they've done a good job in putting him in pick and roll situations. They've been able to throw the lob pass to him. He's 7 feet or right at it, and he gets the dunks. He played well. I thought in the first game he played, he got 14 points and several rebounds. I thought he played really well early. I thought as he changed ends of the floor in the latter part of his playing that he got tired. I'm sure that looking at that, they're trying to condition him as best they can to get him. You have to be careful not over condition a guy. Try to over condition a guy and wear his legs out, but you do have to try to work on getting him a little. And that's what I always tried to do. I was very careful about not overdoing it right before big games. Most everybody practice 3 hours. I practice 45 minutes. So, because I wanted them to be ready to play. So it worked out pretty good for us. So I think he's playing well. I think he's a good player. I don't know about the deal as you said, and I'm glad you took me off of that about the decision making, because I don't know about if I'm the coach and I think I can get by with it, then of course I would play him. I would. I don't want people to hurt me in some other way because I did play him. I don't want somebody to take away my games. I try to study that if I were the athletic director and the head coach. I don't want bad things to happen. I can't answer to our listeners whether bad things would happen or not. I don't know. The new guy is that's the judge is got some Alabama connections, got some Auburn connections, and I think I'm correct in a little bit of Missouri connections.
Correct.
And so Alabama, Auburn, and Missouri, I think he'll do a good job of trying to decide, and we'll go from there. So I think it's pretty interesting games here. We look also at the Auburn game playing Tennessee. They're going back home. Bridges' son back, and Auburn's done a really good job when you beat. I think Texas is good. They'll foul the first guy that moves. They commit more fouls than anybody in America. They fouled a cheerleader. So anyway, they got off to a good start against Auburn. Auburn came back and beat them. Of course, Auburn beat Florida. Florida, it's hard to do.
How has Auburn done it,
Kentucky,
Coach, in this stretch?
I don't know. He says that they played better defensively. I thought in the game I saw against Texas, I didn't think they were playing very good defensively. They got some cheap baskets and they got to the foul line, and I just think they've improved and worked hard. You take it sort of one game at a time and go from there. For example, and I said this on another show, and I know you fixed to run me off here in a minute, but
No, we're not.
No, we're not.
You got time.
No, we're not, Coach.
Let me tell you what
quarters.
A&M. Okay, let me tell you what A&M does that's very interesting to me. And Bucky did it at Samford. Folks, when you think this is going to be simple basketball, because these guys that get on the cube, they try to tell you something that you don't understand. But my grandmother could understand this. When you score, when the other team score, when you score, your team scores, the one thing they're going to do, the other team has to take the basketball out of bounds. And so you press them. And that's what Bucky does. He presses people that after they score, they press people out of bounds because they know where the ball is and they know how to press them. When they miss, they press if they can. Very interesting to me, and I always try to learn a little bit from him. He will press you after a miss. Now, you're going to say to me, Wimp, you don't know where the ball is. Well, I don't. But they work so hard on it in practice that things come up. You grab the next guy, you grab the basketball, or you guard the guy that's got the ball. You don't get into mismatches at all possible, but you practice that all the time. And so not only do they press you after maids, when you see this game the 4th of February, I think it is, I'm not sure. You practice. You'll see them practice after misses, and it's been very good. And the reason for that is that teams don't have a lot of time to get ready for that, and some of them make bad mistakes. They go into Texas, hadn't beaten Texas in 20 cotton picking years at Texas and win that game. So
Coach, are you
throw
saying
that out there to you?
Would that be the
Sorry.
equivalent in football of the triple option and trying to get ready for it?
Yeah, trying to get ready for something that you haven't seen. You know what's going to happen. You need to know to practice. You know you're going to practice against it. They're not trying to hide it, but sometimes you get in a situation where they press. All of a sudden, in a close game, when they throw the basketball inbounds after a made, that somebody intercepts a cotton picking thing and scores a cheap basket. And a cheap basket, I'm telling people that listen that like basketball, good stuff here, I think, because I think it's interesting. If you watch the game on the fourth, you'll see A&M press after mades and misses, and most people don't press after misses. I never did, and so not that I knew everything, but anyway, it's
what was.
I think it's very, very interesting talk. Anyway,
Coach, what was the toughest either style, coach, whatever? I know the Jimmys and Joes got to make it go, but as far as style or a system that you had to face, what was always the most challenging to get your team ready for?
Well, there were a lot of different things. You'll laugh at this, but Ray Mears at Tennessee, I wasn't even born. But I was assistant coach, and we were trying to get ready. And they played the best cotton picking zone defense I have ever seen in my life. You couldn't score with a pencil. I mean, they had you smothered, and they did different things. When you get into the NCAA tournament, here's what happens to you folks. You don't want to get into the NCAA tournament with your friend. We got to the Final 16 6 times. To this point, we didn't get further, but we did good. Is that you don't want to play somebody that does things you have not seen. If they 1-2-1-1 press you, if they do things the way Bucky does them, if they're different with their defenses, with their offenses, if they ran the shuffle offense. At one time before you were ever born, Joel Eves at Auburn won, I think, 30 straight games with a shuffle offense. So if they run something that you haven't seen a lot, you're trying to prepare for, or if you play them the second game. I'm not trying to be personal with this stuff, but I think it's interesting. My last years, we went to California, and we played Colorado State and Arizona, and we beat Colorado State and Arizona and stayed out there to play Loyola Marymount. And Loyola Marymount had just scored 133 points against Michigan, and I've told the story before. And I studied my fannies off. I called every coach I could call it Loyola Marymount had played. Dean Smith said, "Wimp, if you think you can run with them, you can forget it because you can't." And I got out there, and Bob Boyd happened to be out there. He was a good friend of mine, coached at Mississippi State. He watched us practice, and we did really great. We got beat 62 to 60 in a game where they were scoring over 100-something points. And did I play the game? Did I play the game to get beat? No. Did I make the right choice? No, I didn't. We should have played them the other way. I got beat. Tarkanian said, if you could play them the way you should have played them, he's not one of my fans. If you played them the way you should have played them, you'd have beaten them. I don't know if it would have not. But anyway,
how should you have played them? I'm curious. Was it running with them?
I didn't hold. I just wanted to. I wanted to run some clock and get good shots. I had good players. I had good players as they did. Did I make a mistake? I guess I did. I never will forget sitting and looking at my team with the score 9-3, and we were down, I think 9-3 or something. And I looked over the shoulders of 2 or 3 of my teammates, the team guys. I could see the fans going, "Oh, well, come on, don't." And it really worked. It was very well. He got into a big argument with the official at the halftime, and I thought he was going to get a technical. That coach did, and he didn't. And we played their fannies off and missed a few shots. I get credit for really playing a good game and coaching well. Well, you can't give me credit for that. I got my butt beat, 62 to 60. I thought it was the best way to play. You think it's the best way to play. Alabama football. They fuss at the cotton picking quarterback. If you're I'm just switching over here. If your offensive line doesn't block, you ain't got a cotton picking chance to run no cotton picking football. You got the offensive line's got to go with it. You guys know that. Y'all do a good job on the radio show, It's just there. The first thing they will say about the new quarterbacks in Alabama, the first two sentences will be, "I thought," and I don't know what the rest of that sentence will be. I thought this guy was going to be better than Ty. I thought this. I thought that. Because you don't know it, and I don't either. So kind of similar. Both of them are kind of similar to each other. I think. I don't know. You just got to play that game and get ready. Sometimes you could, the pros when they get further, they got to win out, play 7 games and got to win 4 of them or something. So, in our case, if you make a mistake, you're out of there, and so you got to be careful as to how you handle things. And we are, as y'all have said, we were good in the SEC tournament, and proud of it. And what we'll get in, I know I'm talking too much, but I'll get off. I think 9 or 10 teams will get in the NCAA tournament. I don't think as many as got in last year. I think it'll be 9. Hey, y'all, it could be, if you're not careful, it could be 8. Now, Garth will get mad at me. Garth Grissom is great in the conference office and a close friend of mine. It could be 8. He says 10. He's a lot smarter than I am. You got 4 teams that couldn't get in they couldn't get in 100 years unless they won the tournament and not going to win the tournament. So you've got 4 teams. You've got 4 teams. 6-1 is the leader right now after 7 games, and Alabama's 4-3, and Auburn's 5-3. I know you're saying yep, so I got to get off.
Coach, tell us about Craneworks.
Appreciate it. Well, Craneworks is great. Craneworks will do everything they possibly can to be sure that your equipment, the equipment that they give you, is correct, and they'll either build it up or they'll tear it down. They've been trained for, they've been in business for 30 years. Operators are terrific. They'll come with if you have rental works. I don't think there's anybody better than David Upton. So in Birmingham or Nashville or Mobile or Huntsville, wherever it is, rental works is terrific. Crane Works is terrific. You guys are really good. I gave you a bunch of crap first, but I gave you the truth. I thought it was a pretty good show.
That's really good crap. All the crap you give us.
All right. All right. Talk to you later.
Thank
Bye.
you. Bye. Wimp Sanderson, courtesy of Craneworks. 3-man front continues.
It is 10:53. Welcome back in. We'll talk to Mike Rodak from Bama 247 coming up in just a couple minutes. If you got a dangerous tree leaning over your house or maybe branches blocking your view, if you've not written this number down or put it in your phone, you need to. This is the Golston Tree Service, 205-337-4443. Golston's licensed pros handle everything from trimming and pruning to full tree removals. It's fast, safe, and affordable when you use Golston Tree Service. So don't wait until that next storm causes damage. Call Golston Tree Service. They also offer the 24-hour emergency tree service. So when it comes to your trees, don't risk it. Call Golston Tree Service, 205-337-4443.
We were sitting there and listening, and we were a part of that and growing up in this state and watching Wimp's teams play in March. But that Loyola Marymount team, I know that Conrad and Molly were not alive for it, but that team out of nowhere became the national headline. They had a player, and unfortunately passed away. You had another player on their team, Bo Kimball, who would honor Hank Gathers by shooting his free throws left-handed. It was the only bad thing about the story was the fact that Wimp and Alabama drew him there in the Sweet 16. But he's talking about the numbers that they would put up. It was run and gun the entire time.
Yeah, you look at what Nate Oates in Alabama tries to run, or a little bit later you had 40 Minutes of Hell that Arkansas tried to run with Nolan Richardson. I mean, I'm telling you, Loyola Marymount was doing something that you did not see in the college game during that time frame.
And you want to talk about lightning in a bottle? Their NCAA tournament history as a program, one tournament, and they reached the Elite Eight.
And they beat Wimp. They beat Alabama. Yep. I'll never forget because that game was out in Oakland, if I'm not mistaken. Alabama had to go all the way out there to play Loyola Marymount, a California school. Did not end well.
I was looking at Westhead, who was their coach, Paul Westhead.
Paul Westhead. Yep, former Lakers head coach.
He ended up coaching a lot of professional women's.
Mm-hmm.
And then he coached Oregon's women's. Is he still coaching? No, he's not coaching. He's got to be probably 87.
Probably.
Memories.
Coming up next, Mike Rodak from Bama 247. He'll give us the latest legal wranglings going on with the Alabama basketball team and also some football things. Interesting comments by Kalen DeBoer down in Mobile this week. All that straight ahead on Jocks.